Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Brendan Bias from checkit.com and I'm back from the dead to bring you another Tutorial Tuesday. Well, okay, so maybe I wasn't really dead, but I may as well have been because I've been gone for what, maybe 3 or 4 weeks now because of, moving into a new house and all that kind of stuff. But I'm back and I'm ready for another Tutorial Tuesday. So let's get into today's tutorial. So what we're going to be doing is taking a photo that looks kind of something like this, preferably a picture with all the people facing forward, and we're going to take someone's face, maybe in this case like a baby or something like that, and we're going to take that baby's face and put it on someone else, just so it's like a little funny little face swap kind of a thing. Look at that, it's kind of funny. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're doing a kind of a face swap tutorial, although we're not swapping faces, we're just kind of copying and pasting sort of a thing and making it blend, but you get the general idea of what it is we're trying to accomplish here. And just so I can get this out of the way from the get-go and so no one complains about this at the end of the tutorial, sometimes one person's face will not go onto someone else's face easily, and it just won't look right. For example, I tried putting this baby's face on Brian here, but no matter what, it just doesn't look right because Brian's face is a little bit longer naturally and it's just a little more gusto going on here. So sometimes it's just not meant to be. So just keep that in mind when you're picking a certain person to do a face swap on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the tutorial here. Okay, so we're essentially just going to start off with a clean slate here. So I'm going to flatten this image out here, just so all the cool contrasting I added in is merged with the photo here. And so anyway, once you've got a photo open of your liking, basically just choose the person that you want to swap onto another person's face. And let's go ahead and grab our elliptical marquee tool over here. And since I don't want to use the baby here, his name is Charlie. He's kind of like a nephew to me, but he's not. It's kind of sad. And we're essentially just going to click and drag an ellipse around this baby's face. Well, and maybe around his entire head, just for a little breathing room, I guess, later on. Whoops, accidentally right-clicked. I do that a lot. So anyway, make a selection around the face if we want to swap with, or swap onto someone else, I should say. And duplicate that face into a new layer by hitting Control or Command J. And so we can just rename this to face 1, or maybe you can name that Tamra, because we're going to put that onto Tamra's face. And so all we're going to do is let's go ahead and grab the Move tool, and we'll start clicking and dragging this up to the face up here. And all we're going to do is bring up the Transform tool by hitting Control-T or Command-T if you're on a Mac. And let's put down the opacity of the layer so that way we can just see both sets of eyes from the original picture and the copied face here. And so basically what I like to do is I like to basically rotate and resize the image until the eyes match. So let's kind of rotate this so that we get the same angle. So something around there is looking pretty good. And let's also size this up. So I'm going to click and drag from a corner while holding the Alt and Shift key. That would be Option and Shift if you're on a Mac. And so we'll just kind of get a good judge of what this is going to look like. I think I'm going to have to rotate it a little bit more. And let's put that right on there. And what do you know? That's starting to look pretty fantastic in terms of placement for the eyes. So let's just hit the check mark to commit that transformation. We'll bring the opacity back up to 100%. And let's add a layer mask to this layer. So let's click this little box with a hole in it down at the bottom of the layers panel here. And let's go to our brush tool by hitting the letter B. And with black as our foreground color, we can click and drag to start erasing or masking away the edges of this photo right here. So let's just really quickly get rid of the edge here. Very nice. And of course, make sure that you have a soft brush, so you can right click, put the hardness all the way down, hit enter, you're set to go right there. And you can use the right bracket key to size up your brush and the left bracket key to size down your brush. So when you need to get down to these little fine details right here, you can size it down and get it all nice and close like so. Okay, So let's see here. Let's start getting rid of some of these edges that we're seeing over here. So we'll click and drag around, mask away some of these harsh shadows and stuff that just don't blend right. And then maybe we'll size up the brush and very nicely fade the edges over here. And let's bring back all this hair just real quick. Okie dokie, and so that's looking pretty decent over there. Let's finish up in the hair up here. And there we go. We've just got a really quick mask going on here. And if you're a beginner at masking, it's very simple. Basically, black represents something that's being hidden, and white is something that is being revealed. So pretty straightforward when it comes to masking, okay? So you can swap between the two with the letter X on your keyboard if you don't really know that trick already. Okay, so that's essentially the first step, is getting the face kind of in the general overall shape of the person that you're pasting it onto. And maybe we'll soften that up a little bit more over here now that I'm looking at it. And the next step that we're going to take is start matching the overall skin tone so that way it blends a lot better. So with the face layer selected, go to Effects, and we'll add a color overlay. And for this, let's move the style off to the side up here so we can see a little bit better. And we'll click this red box and we'll move that off to the side as well. And basically just sample the overall skin tone that you want the face to be. So maybe I could choose like here on the side of the face. Oh, that is not what I'm wanting. So this is a common issue that I keep running into. You have to cancel out again. And if you look at the layers, you'll see that I have the mask selected still. So you basically got to swap back over to the original thumbnail here by clicking on it. And then if you go back, do a color overlay, and then if you try and sample a color, there you go. Now that's working a lot better. So let's do like the actual skin tone right around, right around there is looking pretty good. So we'll hit OK. And from here on, basically you'll just start messing with a different blend mode to see what looks kind of good. Sometimes soft light looks good, sometimes color looks good, but in this particular case, I like using hue. And then after that, I take the opacity and drop it down between like 50 and 60%. And let's hit OK. And so we're starting to get the overall skin tone down, but this face is still a lot brighter than the original. So let's go to our adjustments panel over here on the side, and let's add a curves adjustment layer. And let's click this little box with a drop down arrow next to it to make sure that this only applies to that face layer right there. And then just click and drag in the middle of this line and bring it down. And just bring this down until it looks like that face matches the overall shading of the original picture there. And so once that's looking pretty good, you basically just go back and redo the whole masking process to help it blend a little bit better. So I'll just kind of show you what I do to kind of make this look a little bit better. So let's go to the mask, brush tool, and let's see. So we're getting some harsh little shadows here in the transition. So I'll use a bigger brush to kind of help fade that out. Oh, maybe that's part of the original there. I didn't even think about that. She is smiling after all. So let's see what happens when we bring some of this back. We're starting to get some of the edges back in here, so let's get rid of that. And let's try and bring back some of the chin right here from the original. Maybe we can get rid of some of those cheeks a little bit. Oh, we're getting some of that smile, so let's not do that. Maybe we can fade in this cheek over here a little bit to help it blend into the shadows, because that face is still a little bit brighter than the original. So we'll get rid of some of the edges over here in the shadows, and then we'll also get rid of some of the edges over here so that way it blends back in with the original. So get rid of some of these edges up here and bring back the hair. Wow, there's quite a bit of hair going on here. Okay, so maybe I overdid that a little bit. We'll just make this all nice and smooth instead. And then we'll go back, smooth it back out from the other side instead. And then let's see. So the top of the forehead's looking pretty good. The edge over here is looking pretty good. And let's maybe bring some of that back. There we go. Okay, so there we go. We've used our masking magicianness to kind of just fade out some of the edges and kind of help it blend overall a little bit better. It's a lot of experimentation, so just kind of play with it, see what you like, see what you don't like. And maybe I'll bring back some of those cheeks a little bit more from the original. I kind of like that. Not too bad. So anyway, just mess with the different brush sizes so that we get a different sense of feathering going on with the effect there, if that makes any sense. And so we'll just take a step back, see how it looks. Not bad at all. However, it should be a little bit darker maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. So let's take a step back, see what happens when we darken it just a little bit more. We're starting to get some unnatural shading going on here. So that's not too bad. So let's do before, after. That ended up being a lot more subtle of a difference than I thought. But anyway, you get the general idea here with the tutorial. So you duplicate the face of whoever you want on there, you transform it, and kind of use the eyes as a guidance as to how much you should rotate and resize an image. Then you adjust the color of that image to kind of match the overall hue of a person's skin tone. And then you kind of mess with the levels to affect the overall brightness of that skin tone as well. And so that's basically all there is when it comes to face swapping. So if you guys like this tutorial, please do me a favor by liking this video and sharing it with others. It's great having all of the support that you guys have given us over the years and all that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate answering questions. Thank you very much. As long as they're not like overly ridiculous and repeated nonstop. Okay, well anyway guys, that's all I've got for you this week. I will hopefully see you guys next Tuesday. Peace out and have a Merry Christmas.